Welcome to our recap of the Song of Waves and Wind as we get ready for the much anticipated Legacy of Morgoth expansion this week. We're here to take you on a whirlwind journey through the story so far so that you can hit the ground running. Before we set sail on this adventure, a quick heads up. This video is packed with spoilers. If you'd prefer to enjoy the story of the Song of Waves and Wind without any surprises, now's the perfect moment to hit pause and return later. But for those of you eager to dive right in, let's uncover the incredible journey together. And don't forget to sign up for my newsletter at melloescape.com. Link is in the description below to stay updated on all of my latest projects. Recently crowned King Elessar aims to lead Gondor towards healing and prosperity. He sends Glyndor, his herald, to guide us to meet him and Queen Arwen in the Tower of Echelion. Afterwards, we meet up with Gimli and Legolas near the Harland, where Gimli humorously laments the journey's toll on his feet. Legolas reassures us that repairing Harland will help the locals accept King Elessar's rule. We meet Othanar, who assigns tasks to clear rubble and eliminate rats from the South Harbor. As we complete these tasks, Gimli overhears troubling talk about Be'lakor, a leader of the heir of Castamir. Legolas and Gimli investigate rumors of Be'lakor's survival, despite witnessing his supposed death. In Arnott, we learn of villagers who claim to have seen Be'lakor and are directed to a camp south of the village. At an abandoned Corsair camp, Gimli doubts Be'lakor could have survived, while Legolas considers the rumor's potential impact. Legolas suspects someone may be impersonating Be'lakor to rally discontent against Elessar. He informs Baranor, the captain of Arnok's guards, who warns of this potential threat. We then travel to the crossings of Erie, meeting Glasshill, who speaks of local legends while seeking to protect her home. In Glenaith, Legolas and Gimli meet Arvelon, who questions the current lord, Surgon's fitness to rule. With the local support gathered, they present their findings to Surgon, who feels disconnected from leadership. Ultimately, he agrees to let his son Faltheron rule, pending King Elessar's approval. Faltheron informs us about the armor of the usurper, stored in the Peligir Armory, where we find a suspicious woman lurking. Legolas devises a plan to draw her out, leading to a conversation with Aethil, who reveals her sympathies for Castamir's supporters. This encounter hints at deeper unrest within Gondor. Aethil invites us to join the cause against Elessar, hinting at a growing movement. We report back to Legolas and Gimli, who instruct us to continue the act as they head to inform the king. Valderan suggests investigating the beacon, revealing its role as a symbol of defiance. Mathan asks for help in spreading propaganda that Be'lakor has survived, leading us to decide whether to distribute or burn the materials. Afterward, Mathan requests weapons, hinting at an upcoming meeting. Our actions will determine the fate of Gondor in the face of rising tensions. As you infiltrate a secret meeting of the heirs of Castamir, a supporter begrudgingly lets you pass, warning you to behave or face consequences. You're introduced to Mathan, who welcomes you warmly, though the other members are skeptical, sharing their plans to end King Elessar's rule. Tensions rise when emissaries from Umbar reveal a power shift in their homeland, sparkling a deadly confrontation that forces you to choose sides in a struggle for vengeance or loyalty. King Elessar has departed Minas Tirith to tour his kingdom. With Imloth Malu as his first stop, you meet Legolas and Gimli there, where they warn you about a mysterious group called the Kindred of the Coins, who may pose a threat to Gondor. After briefing the king on the dangers, he introduces you to his trusted bodyguard, Queen Arwen herself, who is prepared to defend him with her own strength. King Elessar and Queen Arwen journey through Gondor, seeking to heal the kingdom after war. In Imloth Malu, they meet Lady Vanellos, who feels guilt over her foresight of her loved one's death. Arwen comforts her through a soothing ritual, helping Vanellos find relief and accept her innocence. In Arnott, King Elessar assesses the villagers' needs after Lord Forlong's death. Initially wary, the townsfolk slowly warm to Elessar as he offers help. Together, they gather supplies, bridging the gap between royalty and commoners, while Elessar hopes to honor Forlong's memory. Elessar sends us to Tomladen to aid Captain Imladir with local issues. We discover mistrust towards a group of dwarves from Faruk Zahar, who aim to help but face resentment. By mediating, we prevent conflict and pave the way for potential cooperation. King Elessar inspects Gondor's damaged navy and decides to appoint Falderon as Lord of Lebanon, while Surgon Thrawn leads ship reconstruction, Elessar worries about rising threats from Umbar, emphasizing the urgency of repairs. His proactive approach aims to restore strength to Gondor's maritime defenses. To strengthen ties with the dwarves, Elessar visits Ferrok-Zahar with Queen Arwen and Gimli. They present a traditional game offering, but are made to wait outside, testing their patience. Eventually, if welcomed inside, they engage in discussions about alliances. In Ferrok-Zahar, Elessar and Hamassar discuss mutual support for Gondor's rebuilding efforts. Meanwhile, Elessar's companions encounter varying dwarf attitudes toward their visit. Hamassar reveals the emergence of the Kindred of the Coins, hinting at future challenges for both Gondor and the dwarves. Hamassar receives call tech from the Kindred of the Coins, who offers an alliance. Although evasive, Hamassar entertains the proposal without commitment. Elessar learns from Gangar Farwind about potential danger in Ferrok-Zahar, prompting a cautious departure. As Elessar prepares to leave Ferrok-Zahar, Hamassar warns him of a possible treachery. With the warning in mind, Elessar and his party head to the Hall of Ost-Engelbed, where they receive distressing news about Queen Arwen's disappearance. Concern mounts as Queen Arwen goes missing. Following a lead, the group finds her in conversation with the roaming star, who expresses gratitude for Arwen's kindness. Elessar acknowledges Arwen's desire for privacy. Elessar sends help to Linhir to counter the heirs of Castamir. In Linhir, Kaibar outlines various town issues for us to address. Their journey underscores Gondor's lingering struggles with past conflicts and local distrust. Kaibar faces hostility upon returning to Ithring, reflecting the town's pain during his absence. Despite the cold reception, he remains determined to reconnect and fulfill his royal task. His journey reveals themes of estrangement and the desire of reconciliation. In Dol Amroth, King Elessar expresses concern for Kaibar's family. While meeting Prince Imrahil, Queen Arwen facilitates healing discussions among the grieving. The audience highlights ongoing threats to Gondor, underlining the importance of addressing the past for a secure future. In Dol Amroth, Prince Imrahil informs us that a suspicious man named Jajax was detained by the City Watch, but claimed to be our friend to avoid trouble. We investigate further, discovering Jajax has a complicated relationship with the city and a desire to share tales of his shipwrecked adventures with us. When we report back to Prince Imrahil, he remains wary of trusting a Corsair like Jajax, given Gondor's history with the Kindred of the Coins. Jajax and his brother Daxamat return to Umbar, noticing a tense atmosphere and increased guards. At the teeming Net Tavern, they learn from Itur about the Kindred of the Coins' harsh post-war rule. When Koltek questions Dax's loyalty, Jajax realizes they're in danger and warns his brother. Prince Imrahil reveals troubling news from Anfalas, where Captain Mayrol lost his ship to Corsairs, and expresses outrage at Jajax's presence in the palace. Jajax dismisses the accusation, mocking Mayrol, while Imrahil advises King Elessar to avoid the dangerous coastal route. However, Elessar insists on continuing to Anfalas, determined to see the suffering there firsthand as Jajax leaves, hinting at future encounters. Prince Imrahil urges King Elessar to delay his journey to Anfalas due to Corsair threats, offering Dol Amroth's resources. Elessar decides to stay while sending a smaller group, including us, to assist in the Blackroot Vale. Legolas recalls the grim memory of the shades at the Hill of Erech, expressing reluctance to climb it. Kaibar fears the ruthless dead's wrath, while Gimli asserts they'll confront any spirits. They head to Morlad, where Lady Rosvin mourns her sons, and townsfolk express resentment toward King Elessar. Duinhir shares his grief and warns that King Elessar must be cautious, as neglect could turn his people against him. After rejoining Elessar and Queen Arwen, we share the somber mood in the Blackroot Vale. Elessar acknowledges Duinhir's suffering and promises to visit him later. In Malgobas, King Elessar and Queen Arwen find the people feeling forgotten, despite Lord Golisgil's sacrifices. Anoradan seeks help against Corsairs threatening their safety. After addressing these threats, Anoradan reveals concerns for Orgalas, Golisgil's son, who has gone missing. Dairim, sent from Langstrand, asks for help in finding Orgalas. After searching the beach, we consult King Elessar, who suggests checking a watchtower. At Barrett Fane, we discover Orgalas has climbed the tower, eager to see Corsair ships. Orgalas is thrilled to learn King Elessar has come for him, eager to show his home, Londkirion. Lady Mara welcomes them but expresses grief over Golisgil's death, urging Elessar Elessar to speak with her privately. As Orgolas shares his dreams of martial prowess, Elessar assures Mara of their commitment to protect her people. Lady Mara's scouts search for Corsair raiding parties in Anfalas. King Elessar offers his companions assistance to defend the region. We are tasked with speaking to scouts who report Corsair activity, and after aiding them, we return to Loncirion with news of Khybar. Khybar feels anxious about the task assigned by King Elessar and asks for our support. In the main hall, Lady Mara mourns Gullisgil's last wishes regarding Orgolas' safety concerning a ship he bequeathed. Elessar questions Mara about breaking the seal on her husband's wishes. Lady Mara requests Elessar to prevent Orgolas from leaving Loncirion, fearing for his safety. Queen Arwen suggests Orgolas join their journey to help him understand his responsibilities. Reluctantly, Mara agrees if Darum accompanies Orgolas, who is excited about the adventure and seeing the ship Wave Hunter. Orgolas expresses concern about the danger posed by Corsair ships and raiding parties as they journey to Pinnith Glen. King Elessar acknowledges the threats they might encounter, including spirits and beasts, while reminiscing about past ventures. The party travels to Iafel, where Grithril seeks help from local vintners to obtain wine for King Elessar's company. Noriel, a knight protecting Pinnith Glen, welcomes Elessar and his company to Ostvarndir. She warns of lingering dangers from Haradrim and invites Orgolas to play with her son Thorongil, who dreams of becoming a knight. As the children play, Elessar's company is tasked with dealing with threats in the Green Hills. Thorongil dismisses Orgolas' claim that King Elessar was once known as Thorongil, insisting he is being naive. The boys embark on an adventure to see the Wave Hunter, raising concerns from Darum, who rushes to find them. After Orgolas calls Thorongil down from the rigging, they learn of an impending Corsair attack, highlighting the danger they face. Thorongil is captured. Lady Nariel urgently prepares for a Corsair raid, rallying forces to protect the villagers from Tom Ross. King Elessar vows to join her in the defense and cautions against underestimating the Corsairs, suggesting a strategic approach to rescue Thorongil. Noriel is driven by anger and determination to wage war against the Corsairs and rescue her son. King Elessar tasks us with scouting for retreating Corsair ships along the coast of Thingast. After consulting a fisherman, we learn of Corsair crew members visiting a haunted grove by heading up the river. Our mission includes searching the grove for signs of the Corsairs, while also speaking with a watchful ent named Leafshade. Leafshade recounts unusual events and shares his memory of an elf named Neston Sorne, who was gravely injured by a poisoned arrow. He warns us that Corsair ships were spotted sailing south, which may affect our mission. Returning to Elessar, we report the Corsairs' direction and the importance of rescuing both Neston Sorne and Thorongil. King Elessar entrusts us with leading an expedition to rescue Thorongil from Umbar, emphasizing the need for a ship. Orgolas expresses doubts about his ability to lead, but reflects on his father's legacy to find strength. Ultimately, he resolves to support his mother and allow us to command the Wave Hunter for the mission. We are assigned a critical mission to rescue young Thorongil from the Corsairs, and King Elessar emphasizes the need for a trustworthy crew. Various characters share their well wishes and concerns, highlighting the dangers that lie ahead. Before we depart, Elessar reminds us to consult with the scribe Khybar for recommendations on potential crew members. Khybar outlines preparations for the mission to Umbar, stressing the importance of a trusted crew for the Wave Hunter. He suggests several potential members, including Lady Noriel, Legolas, Gimli, Lord Zergon, Sigilith, and the Corsair Jajax, encouraging us to consult his compiled notes for guidance. Once we've assembled our team, we will return to Khybar and Loncirion's library to finalize our crew before setting sail. Noriel urgently insists on joining the Wave Hunter's crew to rescue her son Thorongil from the kindred of the Coins. She asks us to retrieve her sharpened sword and reinforced shield from the armory, emphasizing the need for haste. After gathering her weapons, we speak with her husband Carindolian, who acknowledges Noriel's fierce capabilities and supports her commitment to the mission. Gimli, despite his dislike for boats, expresses his readiness to join the mission and jokes about the unpredictability of the sea. He requests us to visit an herbalist named Langstrand in Malgobas for a remedy to his seasickness and to see if Legolas would like to join. After collecting collecting the needed ingredients for the remedy and speaking with Elistrin, we find Legolas, who agrees to join and will support Gimli, confirming their place on our crew. We share our urgent mission to rescue Thorongil with Surgon, the former Lord of Lebanon, who eagerly agrees to join our crew. He asks us to retrieve his packed trunk from his manor, recalling his longing to sail again. Upon receiving his trunk, Surgon reminisces about his sailing days and expresses enthusiasm about using the Wave Hunter for the mission. Back in the Blackroot Vale, Dwayne here informs us that King Elessar will visit, and we inquire about the elf warrior Sigileth. Dwayne here suggests checking near the Dark Door for her. On our way, we help Swan Knight Revelang defeat foes, and afterwards Sigileth appears, determined to find her brother Corodan, and declares her intention to join our crew for the mission. We meet Prince Imrahil and Dol Amroth discussing the raid by Nakasi Wave Reaper, and he warns against recruiting Corsair Jajax, suspecting betrayal. We find Jajax at Abadek's watch, who expresses surprise and informs us of his plan to rescue his brother Dax. After defeating the Corsair captors and freeing Dax, Jajax dismisses our proposal to join the crew, but Daxamat steps forward to offer his assistance instead. Tolokar reveals that Queen Arwen's brothers Eladan and Elrohir are tracking Corsairs near Iafel. We find Eladan and Tomrost, where we fight again alongside him against Corsairs, ensuring the vineyard's safety. Both brothers later agree to join our crew, adding their skills and experience for the journey to Umbar. In Tumbamale, Leafshade worries about his missing friend, the songbird Gwalong, who may have sailed away. We discover Surgon has a caged bird, and after using Leafshade's whistle, Gwalong recognizes the sound and flies free. Leafshade rejoices at Gwalong's return, and the bird excitedly agrees to join our crew. We seek to recruit Rosaran, a Swan Knight, starting with a conversation with his wife Bruidis, who informs us of his location. When we find Rosaran, he hesitates to leave his wife Bruidis again and proposes collecting wildflowers to gain her approval. After returning to Bruidis with the flowers, she agrees to join him on the journey, resulting in both Rosaran and Bruidis becoming part of our crew. We visit Gullingam's shop to recruit him for the mission, but he can't leave until removing notices of his move to Minas Tirith as the king's own merchant. We collect and burn the 8 notices, which frustrates Bandron, but brings him joy at Gullingam's departure. After returning to Gullingham, he eagerly confirms his readiness to join our crew. With the crew assembled, the Wave Hunter is ready to sail to Umbar. Kaibar conveys a mix of excitement and apprehension about the journey, while Noriel stresses the urgency to rescue her son Thorongil. As the crew prepares, Sigilith emphasizes their mission to rescue both Thorongil and Corodan, asserting the importance of being ready for conflict. The moment arrives for us to give the order to set sail on the Wave Hunter's mission to Umbar. Surgon eagerly awaits our command to ready the sails and depart the city of the Corsairs. After setting sail, the crew faces various challenges in the bay, testing their resolve and camaraderie as the adventure begins. The crew of the Wave Hunter has scattered across the Shield Isles as they wait for the rain to stop, with various members pursuing their own quests. Kaibar expresses concern about the crew's dispersal and emphasizes the need for everyone to return to plan their next steps, while Surgon reacts noticeably to the mention of Ballandor. The objectives involve locating crew members who are scouting for information or resources, including Noriel, Gimli, Legolas, Sigilith, and Daxamat. Surgon encourages optimism about their journey aboard the Wave Hunter, emphasizing their arrival at the Shield Isles. He requests help scouting 3 beaches in the area and recalls his geography of Zamarzur and Bagjat as they navigate their surroundings. Together, they prepare to uncover what the Isles have to offer. Daxamat regrets the crew's scattering and suggests recovering supplies lost when the Wave Hunter ran aground. He agrees to assist in the retrieval, emphasizing that supplies are crucial for their survival. After collecting 6 floating barrels and 4 additional supplies, Daxamat notes their significance for their crew's protection. Noriel is determined to rescue her son Thorongil and expresses frustration about delays in her mission. She discovers a bounty notice offering rewards for capturing Kindred's leaders and plans to create chaos in Mar Nafra to gain attention. The objectives involve examining the bounty and causing a commotion to draw out the leaders. Sigilith expresses concern for her brother Corodan, who was on the ship bound for Umbar, and asks for help searching wrecks in Shadak's kin. After examining the wrecks, she finds a note from a sailor expressing fears of doom, which deepens her concern. Reporting back, she remains hopeful about rescuing her brother, despite the troubling discoveries. Gimli and Legolas invite you to join their hunt for game to sustain the crew of the Wave Hunter. They set out to collect meat from various beasts on the islands, with Gimli joking about Legolas' skills. After gathering enough food, they express gratitude for your help and caution you about a mysterious creature in the area. Eladan and Elrohir encounter a Corsair named Yahim in danger from Kurgrim while scouting Baghdad. After rescuing him, Yahim requests assistance, retrieving his lost sword in exchange for valuable information about the heirs of Castamir. Upon recovering the sword, they reflect on their choice to help Bo, reinforcing the theme of compassion amidst conflict. Galengam, a new merchant, seeks assistance in clearing vegetation around his supplies to prepare for sale. After gathering vendor information, he realizes he needs unique items to sell and requests salamander and toad legs. The spirit of entrepreneurship shines through his determination to turn a profit despite challenges. Wallang the Limland searches for a suitable nesting place, excited about local beetles as food. However, after sampling the meat, he decides the noisy environment isn't suitable and flies southeast for peace. Thanking you for your assistance, he remains hopeful about finding a better location. Ruida seeks to create a salve for injured sailors aboard the Wave Hunter and enlists Rosarin for help. She outlines the necessary components and coordinates with you to gather ingredients, including fish scales. After completing the mixture, Bruidus emphasizes its importance for the wounded as they prepare for their next mission. Sergon's excitement about the Shield Isles is dampened by troubling news of his friend Bellandor, who was forced to flee due to suspicion regarding his relationship with an Umbari noblewoman. Haunted by their past, Sergon reflects on his duty that led to a confrontation with Bellandor, resulting in a belief that his friend drowned at sea. The weight of his choices lingers as they prepare for challenges ahead. Sergon reveals his guilt over past actions against Bellandor, once a friend, now possibly an enemy, leading the kindred of the coins, and endangered the lives of Thorongil and Corodan. After learning this, you report to Noriel, who is resolute about rescuing her son and begins strategizing. She then sends you to Helrax to gather information on Saklafell's bounty hunters, leading you to the elusive Driftwood, a possible ally or foe in the rescue mission. With the Wave Hunter too damaged for a quick repair, Noriel decides they can't afford to wait and must travel overland to the city of the Corsairs to rescue her son, Thorongil. Kaibar suggests the crew heads southeast across the Shield Isles to reach the Cape of Umbar, marking the beginning of the land journey. Upon reaching the Cape, Gimli and Legolas prepares to press on, though the road ahead is still long. The group travels to the city of the Corsairs, Umbar Barabel. After crossing from the Shield Isles, they stop at the settlement of Jax Fennel, where Jaqen, a wary local, warns them of troubles and asks for their help retrieving stolen books from the Haradrim camp to the south. After defeating the Haradrim and returning the books, Jaqen provides directions to Umbar Barabel and promises to keep their presence a secret. As they journey south along the merchant road, Noriel expresses eagerness to reach the city of the Corsairs, with Rakatab as their first stop. Upon arrival, they find the crowd gathered around a murder victim, whose death was instilled fear among the townspeople, who suspect a tall Corsair. Investigating further, the characters learn from guards about ongoing tensions with the Corsairs and the need for safety in Rakatab. Driftwood informs us of the dangers posed by the bounty hunter Cruel Dancer, who is after competition for Saklafell's bounties. Meeting Kaibar, you decide to continue to Umbar Barabel and encounter Bodo in the village of Kutra, who shares their struggles with famine and disease. After helping the village, you meet Cruel Dancer, who proposes a truce against the kindred of the coins, signaling potential allies and future threats. We hesitate to accept help from Cruel Dancer and discuss the local blight that has prompted Sergon's secretive actions. Urged to confront the threat of the dead near the temple ruins, we check on Legolas, who reflects on the fallen tower Calaterian and its historical significance. As we continue toward Umbar Barabel, themes of fear, duty, and history intertwine, deepening the journey. The crew expresses concern about attracting unwanted attention if they enter the city of the Corsairs. Corsairs together. To mitigate risk, they decide to split up and approach the city through different gates. Once inside Umbar, they begin gathering information for their mission. Noriel enlists your help to gather intelligence on the fleet fast, critical for rescuing your son Thorongil. She insists you to observe the guards' movements for specific clay jars at key crossroads. As you follow her instructions, a suspicious guard confronts you, warning that you lack the necessary invitation to enter the citadel. Zirgon wrestles with confronting his old friend Belendor due to their troubled past. He sends you to gather information from locals, discovering that Meshka, Belendor's wife, can help. After a tense meeting, Meshka reveals her anger towards Zirgon, but allows him to express his remorse before ultimately banishing him from the upper ward. Sigilith, haunted by memories, learns about a woman named Kasha and suspects a connection to a note found in the Shield Isles. Upon investigating, you discover Kasha's husband Felix is alive and explains his past as a Corsair. Sigilith reflects on his story, emphasizing the harsh choices made for survival. Gimli and Legolas discuss the inferior quality of Corsair vessels compared to the beloved Wave Hunter. While seeking information on the kindred of the coins, they encounter uncooperative dock workers and learn about local figures Nakasi and Tumuldo. Concerned about Nakasi's wrath, they resolve to proceed with caution as they investigate further. Daxamad learns that his friend Itor is imprisoned and facing a dangerous trial by combat against Rothok the Storm. After gathering intel, he decides to help Itor withdraw from the fight by offering his last coins to a guard. Relieved that Itor will remain safe, Daxamad expresses gratitude despite the personal cost. Eladan and Elrohir meet a man claiming to have information about the heirs of Castamir. Though suspicious, they agree to investigate further at a farm where the man reveals hostile intentions. Successfully defending themselves from the ambush, the brothers discuss the fallen status of the heirs and express curiosity about the mention of the elves from the oasis. Galengam eagerly prepares to launch his market stall and asks for your help in posting notices. As you advertise, Azagath Sea Shadow, leader of the Kindred of the Coins, shows interest but leaves without making a purchase. Despite your concerns about potential threats, Galengam remains focused on his business. Ruidus tasks you with assessing the defenses of the fleet fast, while she remains hidden due to her husband's conspicuous armor. After reporting your findings, Ruidus concludes that a frontal assault on the Citadel of Winds is impractical. You then seek out Rosarin, who shares insights on the public sentiment towards leaders of the Kindreds of the Coins. Kaibar checks his belongings and discovers a note from the bounty hunter Cruel Dancer, suggesting it may involve prisoners and crocodiles nearby. After locating the toppled lamp, you sense someone watching you and find its Cruel Dancer reveals the lamp's lead to a secret harbor used by the Kindred of the Coins. Cruel Dancer reveals the secret harbor is frequented by Tathita, the sea beast, and Nakasi Wave Reaper, who has taken over since her husband's death. She warns that the harbor is avoided for unknown reasons, but both ships are expected to be present. Describing the treacherous path, she suggests using a rope to descend to a narrow ledge. Upon reaching the second ship, you discover Corodan, alive, but he warns that Tathita is returning. Tathita confronts you on the deck, expressing surprise at your survival. Cruel Dancer arrives, declaring her intent to claim the bounty on Tathita's head, escalating the conflict as Tathita calls for her crew to attack. In a heartfelt reunion, Corodan expresses joy at seeing you after your adventures since Helm's Deep. You reassure him that Leafshade the end as well, and he reflects on the toll of battle on peaceful creatures. When Driftwood arrives and greets Corodan warmly, an awkward silence follows at the mention of Nona, but Sigilith breaks the tension, reminding them their mission is not yet complete. Sigilith and Corodan discuss their plan to rescue Thorongil from the Kindred of the Coins, with Corodan sharing his past experiences of captivity and his belief in a noble purpose. He expresses concern that if Thorongil loses his value as a hostage, it could endanger his life. Daxamad suggests gathering information at local taverns and proposes they split up to gather intelligence on the heavily guarded Citadel of Winds. Rothok the Storm introduces you to Harmelech, the Golden Queen, who reveals she has been monitoring your group's activities in Umbar. She discusses her her wealth and rise to power, explaining how she formed the Kindred of the Coins to lead Umbar independently. Harmalac expresses concerns about Azagath, a former ally, hinting at his secret plans that could threaten the city. Harmalac emphasizes that while she values the Kindred of the Coins, individual members like Azagath are expendable for Umbar's greater good. She reveals Azagath's ritual involving water bearers, which could be a means to infiltrate the Citadel of Winds. Afterward, you meet Azagath's water bearers, Inat and Ishu, who challenge you to prove your worth to join their mission. After receiving advice from Harmalac, the Golden Queen, your mission to infiltrate the City of Winds, where the villainous Azagath Sea Shadow is holding Thorongil captive. Your first task is to carry a bowl of seawater across the bridge, keeping it safe to avoid any spills. As you make your way, allies like water bearer Ushu guide you, urging you to stay on the left side and head into the keep. Once inside, you pour the water into a great hall fountain, joining other water bearers who advise you to keep a low profile. While blending in, you overhear a tense conversation between Azagath and his Kindred of the Coins regarding Thorongil. Soon, Jajax arrives with what he claims to be Queen Arwen as a prisoner, but a shattered jar of water reveals it's a ruse. Azagath uncovers your presence and decides you're a more valuable hostage than Thorongil. Just then, a powerful spirit named Nimrodel intervenes, forcing Azagath and his allies to retreat. With Thorongil safe, you reunite with Jajax, who eagerly boasts about his rescue efforts, even though he nearly exposed you to capture. With two captives rescued from the Kindred of the Coins, the speaker anticipates a triumphant return to Anfalas. Jajax boasts about his role in the rescue, while Nimrodel warns of the continued danger posed by Azagath, who may carry Sauron's mark. The crew discusses unresolved issues, reflecting on their mixed feelings of triumph and the ongoing threats in Umbar. Corridon expresses relief over the mission's success, revealing his struggle with the emotional pain of his friend's fate during their separation. He invites you to accompany him on one final journey to visit Lanuk, where his old friend Nona resides. Upon arriving, you find Nona happy and pregnant, and friendships are healed. Following Thorongil's rescue, Nariel is determined to track down Azagath and his allies, pledging to search the Citadel of Winds for justice. She discovers a split among the guards, with some supporting Azagath, and she must gather information from those remaining loyal to him. As they navigate the Citadel, Noriel prepares for confrontation, but realizes too late that Azagath has escaped across the water. The team plans to investigate the Magda Korbo ruins to ensure Azagath hasn't disturbed anything dangerous. Sigilith gathers items from the area to assess the lingering evil, and Corridon warns that Azagath has malicious intentions linked to recent troubles. They decide to secure the area while preparing to confront Azagath in the lower tunnels. Corridon gathers information about Azagath from the citizens of Umbar Barabel, revealing mixed opinions about Kindred's leadership. Residents share various rumors, including one about Azagath's escape aided by his allies. The differing perspectives underscore the tension surrounding the leader's disappearance and the public's uncertainty. Belendor questions a stranger about their purpose, learning they are with Surgon, an old friend. Despite past betrayals, Belendor agrees to meet Surgon at the Hungry Deep Tavern, where the two discuss their shared history. The meeting highlights the potential for reconciliation amid lingering mistrust. Harmalac reassures the people of Umbar Barabel about the future under the Kindred of the Coins, seeking help to restore what Azagath disrupted. Jaith informs that the keys to the meeting hall were stolen, prompting a mission to retrieve them. With the keys recovered, hopes rise for the reopening of Dar Laja. In the meeting hall of Dar Laja, the Kindred of the Coins welcome citizens to express their concerns, marking a new era in Umbar. Jaith greets you warmly, thankful for your role in reopening the hall, which many feared would remain closed forever. Daxamad expresses his excitement and suggests you speak with his brother Jajax about leadership replacement suggestions. Rumors swirl among the people that Azagath has fled the city, possibly followed by Tumulda Fiercewater and Nakasi Wave Reaper. While Harmalac acknowledges the rumors, she insists that the public must remain unaware of the full truth. She reveals that Tathata was recently seen in combat and urges you to investigate Koltek's delayed report about her whereabouts. Searching for the missing Tathata, the sea beast, Buruk informs you she might still be in Umbar Mok, often seen walking with her hounds. You explain that she was last spotted in a hidden harbor, and Buruk warns you that in Umbar Mok there is a cost for for answers. He advises checking the notice board in Mekab Kupar for tasks to earn assistance in finding her. Corodan and Sigilith join your search for Tathata, commending your efforts in assisting the Temamir by completing notice board tasks. Burke has not learned anything specific, but suggests Tathata likely had a secret home in the city. As you prepare to investigate, Corodan plans to keep the Corsairs busy while searching Tathata's ships for clues. You are tasked with locating your missing contact, Burke, who disappeared in Makapar. Speaking with local dwarves reveals that he was last seen studying a notice board filled with various local issues. You must decide whether to search for him in Nishabed Lokalel, with Corodan and Sigilith agreeing to explore the opposite location. In Umbar Mok, Burke explains the existence of the Terasi, or Forgotten Ones, who elude capture and steal from Umbar's markets. He instructs you to leave food for the Terasi while clearing the area of dangerous creatures. After leaving the bread, a Terasi girl demands a meal and wine in exchange for information about Tata. Tafisa reveals that Tata is hiding in abandoned temples in the temple-filled area of Kamrabazur. You head to Kamrabazur, where Burke informs you that your alpha allies are searching the vaults, but warns of a dangerous creature in the area. After engaging in combat against cultists and sandsifters, you learn of an unmarked location where Tathata might be hiding. Corodan reflects on Galatani's tragic fate and gives you a dagger, believing it should accompany her in death. Upon returning with news of Tathata, Sigilith acknowledges the cost of obsession through Galatani's story. After reporting back to Harmelech, she interrupts, noting some details aren't suitable for public discussion. Harmelech reveals that your name has been frequently suggested to fill vacancies in the Kindred of the Coins, acknowledging your contribution to Umbar. She warns that acceptance will require tests to prove your worthiness and encourages you to consult with other leaders in Dar Laja. Jajax expresses mixed feelings about your growing reputation, hinting at underlying distrust due to past bloodshed between Umbar and Gondor. What a journey it has been through the Song of Waves and Wind. We've faced challenges, formed alliances, and uncovered secrets. If you enjoyed this adventure, then you will love my latest novel, Wings of Steel. Visit maloescape.com to dive into another exciting story set in a world full of wonder and peril. Until next time, fellow adventurers, keep exploring the wonders of Middle-earth. Happy hunting.